One second. And does it say live on your anybody? It's just spinning in circles. So it's okay, good. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I have an awesome group today. This was Renae's idea. You guys have seen Renae on my podcast before. She's with Intuitive Coaching Solutions. She does like EDMR therapy. I think I said that right. And she does quantum hypnosis as well. And she'll get into that. And then I have with me Aloha Pink Bella. You guys are really familiar with her. She's on my show all the time. She's with alohapinkbella.weebly.com and Pink Bella Aloha Therapy. And I have with me Matthew Mornian, psychic and medical intuitive from rememberyourmission.com. And we're going to, do a podcast today on disclosure, and it's going to be like a psychic roundtable. Yeah, Renae, and thanks everybody for coming. Renae, did you want to start it off since I kind of hand it over to you since this is kind of your idea and like it's I'm excited about this. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. I was just picking up from my Army days, so. Anyway, so I started out a long time ago as an EMT in the Army. I'm a Vietnam era non-combat vet. So I grew up in the medical field, and then I transferred into health education, and then I became a master's clinical social worker, blah, blah, blah. But then I have, my PhD is in spiritual counseling and metaphysics. And so I've worked with trauma my entire life in one form or the other. But I'm also a psychic medium, so I'm very intuitive. I see, hear, feel, and know things. So many times in my therapy sessions, I basically can connect with loved ones in whatever dimension, whatever that is. But usually when they come through, they're usually trying to help you just deal with the trauma. But also, I don't fix anybody. I just help the person tap into their energy systems. So wherever the trauma is settled in their chakras or their energy field or whatever you want to call it, then we just, work through that as a team. I'm not fixing anyone. Okay. My job is to help people, deal with the trauma, feel better about themselves, maybe increase their vibration so they can protect themselves from all the onslaught of the chaos that's been going on our planet for quite a few years now, and just to give them hope and options and solutions so that they can stay more grounded. Because these days, what I'm finding when people are calling me, and then I'm on psychologytoday.com because I work in the 3D world, but I also work in 4D and 5D, etc. So, I just try to leave myself open to being there for whoever finds me. So if people want to find me and DM me on Facebook, they can do that. But primarily, I thought because of everything that's going on with our missing scientists and our physicists and people who are living in fear, whether it's our abductees that have been dealing with, alien abductions, whether it's with our MK Ultra people, the CIA, the military, whatever that is, it's causing post-traumatic stress disorder in the general population. And people just are coming out of their skin, literally, like their fingers are stuck in a light socket. And they don't know how to protect themselves, to ground themselves, and to manage that kind of transition. And it is a transition. We're going from a different type of being environmental way of living in the world, and we're trying to implement something new. And most people have no idea that these things are happening to them. They're just feeling it and experiencing it, but they don't have an outlet. And for the people who've had these experiences, whether it's sexual abuse and assault issues, abduction issues, when they go to a qualified mental health professional, the mental health professional, because of their academic training, which is very limited in many aspects, they think these people are delusional or hallucinating when they're actually having a real experience. And so sometimes it can be an energy attachment, whatever you want to call it, but whatever it is, I think that now that we've had this issue with, David Wilcock and that quote unquote suicide, whatever you believe that is, okay, he's gone. Okay. And it really has triggered a lot of people's PTSD issues, maybe that they've, pushed down and, tried to deal with it. But now I'm hearing from a lot of people, they're being triggered. And so they're having difficulty functioning. It's in their lives. So I thought, the three of us, we have this big collective background. We actually work with energy, all of us, and we each have our experiences. And I thought if, we could just show our community that we can come from different walks of life, we can have initials behind our name or not, but we're all here for the same reason. We're all here to help people cope with these issues. And I thought we could provide some sort of support so people could see that doesn't matter what your background or training is, as long as you're coming from a place of love in your heart and you have the experience to help guide people and help them, work through these issues, then that's really what's important. It's not about your initials behind your name or how much experience you have. It's, what can you do to provide support, especially for our community, for those of us who even do this work that are under, an exorbitant amount of stress. Even though we may know what's going on, it's still affecting us too. So that's what I'm going to say. Whoever wants to go next, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to share that what I noticed, like we talked about PTSD earlier, Renae, and post-traumatic stress disorder. And what I have noticed with working with Starseeds since 2017, that 100% Starseeds have it. We came in with it. It was probably labeled something else because PTSD is a very new term, post-traumatic stress disorder. So it was triggered in me. I was in tech for years. So I was in tech support out in the real world for many, many years. And I managed it. But even as soon as the light codes really started to increase, 2017, 18, 19, and they're off the charts now, every client that came to me, I scanned, they had PTSD. So it's a multi-dimensional trauma that we brought in from galactic battles and all sorts of crazy experiences that we've had to wake up to. And I feel like, David's passing was like such a time marker of us changing into a new timeline.
I agree.
And what I've been researching his work so much now since that's happened. And what a trailblazer, someone who read, exposed himself, shared so much about all the different aspects of ascension, UFOs, all of that. And really, we just changed timelines once he's not here anymore. He's not part of the physical story anymore. He's somewhere else, but his work is really being focused on right now. And I think that that's one positive thing. I also know he suffered from that. He talked about MK Ultra and all of that, right? Yes.
Yeah. And here's the issue. If in your energy field, you're still harboring that frequency of trauma, then sometimes you're more susceptible to pulling in people who want to manipulate you and confuse you because you're not protecting yourself. Because let's face it, you need to have some facts when you're dealing with people, right? I just don't take it on face value. I always tell my clients, hey, don't believe what I'm telling you. Do your due diligence, research things. Maybe what I'm telling you isn't accurate for you. But with David, he let himself get pulled into a situation that colored his world. And unfortunately, when you're isolated and you don't have a community to lean on, guess what? You're susceptible to more attacks and targeting. And that's unfortunate. And I think that's what happened with him.
Well, it is. But, Carrie Cassidy was on Rob's show yesterday, and we've been bringing up some really good points that we don't really have the full story. We're being fed a story. And a lot of people in the community are just accepting that story. So right away, my radar goes up. Why is no one questioning the story? We don't have any information. But I think you're correct. It's triggering a lot of people. I was on a paranormal podcast this past week that was booked 2 months ago, and it just came in right after the UFO files were released. And so many of his admin people that were monitoring his lives every Sunday, came in. And the thing is that they're all lost. They were all counting on that energy every Sunday to sort of get them through. So they've also been triggered. So I think everyone's been triggered in their own way. There's been so much that's been happening even since January, right? So I think everyone's been triggered in their own way. Trauma does lodge itself in and hide itself until it's triggered.
Right? And also when you drop your vibration into the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which I call the FUD factor that I write about often in my books, as soon as you drop that frequency, you're even more susceptible. So it's really important to do self-care, to elevate in love and higher consciousness, whatever that is you need to do to keep yourself in a higher vibratory frequency so you can deal with some of these things, whatever you want to call them, that want to come in and overwhelm you and then just make you feel more and more depressed or anxious. So
what about you, Matthew?
Well, I certainly agree with what you guys are saying. It's kind of funny that David passed right before the so-called official disclosure
Isn't
announcements,
it?
almost like,
It was
his
too
life
convenient. It was too
sort of
convenient.
led up to that, you know what I mean? Not saying that was the be all end all of the process,
Yeah.
but I'm like, huh, interesting. A week or two after he dies, and we got a big data dump, which feels diluted at best.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
aside from that, I can't say that I've noticed a bunch of like PTSD reactions from, like disclosure or David Wilcock passing, but I can see how for some people that would be a very realistic reaction. What I have noticed though, and you'll even see this within guests on the show, people in the chat, people all over Facebook, is people working their way back and forth through what is it, the 5 stages of grieving? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
And so many people are still in the shock and belief stage where they're like, no,
Absolutely.
it's not true. There's no way it's true. You know what I mean? And that's a hard one, for most people because that's not that it has to go in some order, but that's just one that's really hard to break through. And
It can vacillate,
that.
back and forth. You're absolutely right. Those stages of grief. That's
Yeah,
exactly what's going on right now. And
right.
people are not aware that that's what's happening. If they knew that that was normal to have those reactions, then maybe, they could handle things better. And that's a really good point.
Yeah, I feel you, and I think that like everything that happens at this stage, every notable death, every big corner turn, every intersection of bizarreness or world event, these are all things that we came here to experience, and none of them happened by mistake.
No, they don't.
And it doesn't really matter if you're in the whole like, David's in the inner earth, story now, or maybe you're in the, deep state killed him, or maybe he's on the other side of the ice wall now, or maybe he's with Charlie Kirk and George Droid and they're going to a garden. Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
Which one you want to buy, right? It doesn't actually matter. But I really love watching the process, and
It's a shit show some days, let me tell you. That's not a
yeah.
clinical term either.
And
You
then
know,
I'll just say one last thing to wrap it up though. I was a person who I discovered the law of one through David Wilcock. His
Mhm.
work had a profound effect on my life. Like there is no way, two ways about it. He really had a big effect on me. I read a couple of his books all the way through, and I can't say that I agreed with a lot of what he said or the majority of what he talked about, just to be totally real. I agreed with a lot of it, but he had a profound effect on me. And I think this is a thing that we see with a lot of these big messengers, whether you consider him to be a grifter and a predator or, a harbinger of disclosure. It's just I think we're going to have more of these types of events. But anyway, I'm sort of losing my point. I'll shut up now. So.
No, you're not.
Actually, before we move on, I actually have a question for you, Matthew. So as I've been doing my research around David, because when that event happened, I woke up and I realized this is a huge event. Like this is actually showing us we've moved into like a new timeline, because that weekend was the 7 planets in Aries stellium, which hadn't happened for 20,000 years. So we literally on the Monday, like that happened Friday. I mean, like literally on the Monday, like, the event happened. But when I was doing my research about him, which he had so much information about so many things 20 years ago that I wasn't even paying attention to, I found that you were at a conference with him in 2019.
Oh
In Ventura, California. So did you meet him, and how was that?
Oh yeah, I met. Yeah, we met several times. Not that I hung out with him or anything, or was like, "What's up, bro?" You know what I mean? But yeah, no, he was honestly, in the brief times I met him, I have some pictures, and all that. He was very approachable and kind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but yeah, I did. I went to, man, every time he was at Conscious Life Expo, I went there. He did those conferences with Corey.
Yeah.
I went to the first couple of them, before shit got weird, you know. But no, he was a cool guy. I always really enjoyed David, even if you can painfully watch how he gets caught up in this childlike ego at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like you learn to take the cool parts and throw the other parts out, which you know, we could do more with everybody, but yeah. So yeah, we were there back, I guess, back in the old days now, as it were.
Yeah. So, and that's when do you think everything got really weird? Because I'm feeling like 2019 was kind of a wrap up of everything being sort of semi-normal, and then we had the lockdowns, and then everything changed.
Yeah, I think that his involvement with Corey Good was in many ways one of the nails in his coffin.
Yeah.
And right around 2019, 2020, you could see how something had eroded on both of their sides. It was like they had ridden a wave and the wave had crested, and they were on that part of the beach where you can still kind of like, you can still kind of go, but you're about to hit the, you know, you're about to hit the sand. You know, it's like you could tell the wheels were starting to fall off a little bit, but you know what I mean? I never cared about David's side of that too much. I was always much more taken with Corey and his predatory, you know, like behavior. And I think that was just the one that I focused on more from a negative perspective. But, you know, I guess that's just how it is. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. And I think like a lot of things had an effect on David. Like, I think it was like, you know, like, it seems like the thing that happened with Corey kind of messed him up, and then like, you know, you see this gradual like downfall as compared to like the information he was putting out before as compared to like now, you know. And then there were like it's sad to say, but there were a lot of channels that kind of were making fun of David, you know. Like, I mean, like, I don't think he deserved to be made fun of. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's, I don't want to call out the channels either, because I don't want to give them, you know, like, I think we all know who they are, you know, the channels that were doing this.
They call it cyberbullying.
Yeah. It was like, but like they some people were really going after David. Like, anytime he would put out a video, like, these people would, like, you know, they were on it. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like,
but here, yeah, I have a question for you. Say if somebody like Trump or somebody in Congress puts out a video, there's going to be 20,000 people that tear the shit out of it in the worst possible way. Why is it only evil when we do it to people like David Wilcock? And why have we decided as a community that these small network of channels are so powerful that they had to this handed at the end of his life? Because I just don't see it. Like, what do you guys think about that? Do you think?
I think it was a setup. I think it was all a setup. Yeah, I think it was part of the show. I think it was part of the show, because Rob and I looked at this before, and I thought, why were they allowed to even stay on, and why did nobody ever complain about what they were doing? Because we all know channels can be taken away overnight, like with not saying anything, just talking about health issues. So yeah, so when I've looked at it recently, it's like, oh, it was all a setup. It was all part of like the movie. Yeah, and I agree.
So can I interject, because I wanted to, you know, speak on what you were saying. So in 2010, 2011, when I published my first book, I went to Joshua Tree in Palm Springs for the ufology conference. Cool. And I went there for a specific reason, because, you know, as a clinician who has treated trauma my whole entire career, I wanted to listen to the experiencers who've had these abductee experiences. I wanted to meet the people there that were prominent in the ufology community. I met Dr. Greer. I met the podiatrist who took the implants out. I met David. Yes, and I met Dr. David Sarita, who did a lot of work with free energy. He just put out another video about 3 weeks ago about this topic. And so my experience there was I was trying to hear and listen and learn and meet people and network with them. But what I found was there was a lot of egos that were in competition with each other. And I'm a really open person. I'll share with anybody, you know. I don't really care what your initials are behind your name or what all that, because that's just bullshit anyway to me. What I care about is, are you helping people? That's what I care about. And so the reception I got there with certain ones of those individuals wasn't all that great, because prior to me going to that conference, I was asking my guides, I'm like, look, am I supposed to go to this conference? Can you send me, something so that I know? I was in Chicago at the time, treating people there in downtown Chicago, working in a holistic practice with a holistic physician. And within a week, I had 3 survivors come in that had abduction experiences. And one of the women was a wife of an attorney. They were both attorneys, and they both had abduction experiences, and their children had abduction experiences, and they were very paranoid, about seeking treatment in Chicago as attorneys, right? Because their reputations could have been blown to smithereens. And so when those things happened to me, I went there and I thought, wow, I'm going to go in, I'm going to learn, I'm going to share. But not a lot of these people were very friendly, let's just say. Certain people were, but certain people weren't. And I just find there's so much competition out there. And then the other UFO researcher, Richard Dolan, he has written a lot of information about this sort of thing. All I try to do when I go in is to speak to them about PTSD trauma and how to help these, survivors that have these experiences, because, it's crucial that they get the help they need. Otherwise, it really affects their lives. And then also the person who has affected my life and has been my biggest mentor was Dr. John Mack. He was a Harvard-trained psychiatrist, but he spent a lot of his career working with experiencers and documenting their abduction experiences and how to work with them with their PTSD trauma. And so these are the kind of things, though, that they've been surfacing more now. They've been surfacing more now because of the Epstein files, right? And all that trail of, crazy shit that's been coming out on the planet. So, I mean, these are the things that are really coming out right now. And I think they're supposed to come out for a reason, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're not supposed to stay hidden because we've been lied to how many centuries, right? So, like, if we want to help people, the truth does need to come out, and but the truth is different for everyone, right? Because everyone has a personal experience. But, at this point, whatever happened to David, will we ever really know? I don't know. Okay. We may, but we may not. But, with all this aftermath that's out there, certainly, if we discuss it openly and we let people know that they're not alone, that there are people out there that will, be there to help them and are sincere because they really do care what they do. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in this podcast here that isn't passionate about what you do. It's very obvious to me, and that everybody's heart is in the right place. Okay. Let's face it. None of us is getting rich doing this. It's not about the money. Okay. It's about living your purpose. It's about living your purpose and helping people live theirs, but if they don't know that there's help out there, then they sequester themselves. Their mental illness expands, they just stuff all their shit, right? And then, they get suicidal. And whether you want to believe it's like outside influences, like Jesse Beltran talks a lot about, how they mess with your head with all these
B2K.
Yeah, exactly.
B2K.
I mean, whatever it is, whatever is causing it, okay? It's like, okay, can we get these people to stop that? How do we do that? We have to elevate our vibrations so they can't keep fucking with us, okay? To be quite honest with you. And so that's why I wanted to have this discussion, because, it's like, who's talking about this stuff in this way? Everybody's talking about like what happened with David. Well, okay, that's interesting, but it's not solving a problem. So
that's a good point, because it's like if David really did take his life, I just want to say, like, this guy Jim Gerard, who came on my show the other night, he brought up a lot of good questions. He was like saying, like, where's the autopsy? Where's any of the footage? Who are the doctors and nurses? Like, he said absolutely none of this has been shown, but maybe because it's like he unalived himself, maybe that's why. And maybe like I don't want to say to Jim, I didn't say this, I want to say maybe it's because it was like gruesome footage that they can't show it, but still, they said there was no autopsy shown. He said, I mean, like, all these things raise good points. It's like, why are they not showing anything?
I grew up with the Vietnam War on national TV at dinner time.
We saw everything.
So there's no point in like, no, this is exactly why the radar went up for me. There was
Exactly.
nothing. There was no police around the house. There was no crime scene tape. There was no okay. And Rob, you and I looked at this a couple of weeks ago, and I think everybody was still in shock and we weren't ready to look at it. But I said, so go to Matthew Perry. When it was on every news station. There were like 5 million FBI agents coming and going. So why is it like suddenly there wasn't anything for David Wilcock? And I personally, part of it is I think they want it was set up to protect his family. Like the narrative came up to protect his family.
And who knows where any of these physicists or scientists have been taken and why? Yeah. Okay, because they lie to us all the time. You know, those 3-letter agencies. That's what they do best. Right. And listen,
I'm laughing because they do.
You can take the girl out of the military, but you can't take the military out of the girl. And especially when you've worked as an EMT, you've seen so much shit. Okay. That it's like, I don't believe anything. Show me the facts. That's what I want to see. You know?
Yeah, but like where you were saying, Renae, to kind of come full circle on it is like, if he did take his life, like, we don't want this to happen to someone else again. So it's good to identify what happened and like, why, so like it doesn't happen to someone else in the community, because like,
and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast, because I don't want to see that happen to somebody else if it doesn't have to happen. They should know that there are people out there that they can call us, you know, they can DM us, they can email us, you know. I do free consults all the time. I don't just take every client that comes to me. I talk to them for 45 minutes to an hour, because I want to make sure that I'm the right person for them. And if I'm not, I'm going to refer them to the right people, you know, because people are struggling. That's the right thing to do. At least that's the way I was raised.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Enough of that rant.
Well, I'm looking at the since January, the smorgasbord of events that we've been hit with on a weekly basis, and something's triggered somebody
every day.
All I know is that through sessions, what comes in for people is like, stabilize your nervous system right now, healing and clearing traumas, spend time in nature, unplug from your social media, quit doom scrolling.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is all things that all of us, like I've had to do on my own as well, as like, shut off the phone, go outside. And nature is like our best friend right now. So
that's why I'm outside doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I as soon, and here's the other thing I've noticed, that as soon as I'm working with a client, I don't want to take on their stuff. So not only do I sage or whatever, but then as soon as I'm done, I eat right away to ground, and I'm outside before I see my next client, because I've found that I have to do more self-care on myself, you know. I mean, the intensity of these energies has been really crazy. So yeah, you do have to teach people what to do, because what they'll do is they'll go out and do a line of Coke, maybe have a few beers, you know. Okay, if that's what you want to do, great, but that doesn't calm the nervous system, you know. And so when I worked with a doctor in Chicago, we used to do a lot of that. You know, we used to help them. I taught mindfulness, meditation. And by the way, David Sarita, in August, you can sign up for a course. He's going to teach you the meditation techniques that he learned from his yogi.
Cool.
In September. Okay. So you should go look at his, he's doing, I think he did part 3 this past week. And also Matthew is doing what I call like mantras, you know, where he's working on your chakras. Good job, by the way, Matthew. Okay. And I think that
thank you.
The sounds that he's doing in his mantras when he's working with his clients, they then shift that frequency in the chakras themselves. So wherever the trauma has hit, okay, then it kind of goes in there and it elevates, because that's when you become symptomatic, right? When you have a traumatic event, the vibration drops, the body becomes symptomatic, and then you have an issue, whether it's a psychological issue, an emotional issue, or a physical issue that, you know, is in the body. So that's why it's really important to elevate those chakras, because that is very, that's an easy way to kind of manage what's been going on with people too. And during COVID or after COVID, I worked with a lot of little kids who I taught them mindfulness, okay, to go internally instead of externally, because a psychiatrist, they just want to put you on drugs, right? Oh, let's just stick a Band-Aid on it, right? Oh, that'll fix it. No, well, it'll screw up your liver and your biome and your colon, you know. So I taught them mindfulness, and then I taught the parents mindfulness. So then I said, okay, so before your kid goes out and has social anxiety disorder, let's teach them mindfulness. You practice it with them. So those are the kind of things that we should be teaching people. We should be teaching them how to do those things. And we shouldn't have to worry that they can't afford it because they don't have fucking health care, right? That also has been taken away from, for God only knows, control.
Well, it's okay here in Canada. Apparently, we have healthcare, but we don't. So that's all a facade as well. So just to let you all know, it's all a facade. You can't actually get in to see anybody.
Oh,
well,
right.
and you know what? And even
Right?
if you
So
can,
it's there, but you can't.
and even
actually
if
see
you
anybody.
can get in to see anybody, they're all Western trained. Okay, so guess
You know
what?
My
Get the full
journey
treatment.
was an issue from age 5. So I had to learn to go the natural way, even though it cost money. I ignored the other system. I went the other way because it brought me answers to help clients. And I work with, it depends on the client. Some people do like resonate with chakras. Others, I just work with their energy, their quantum field, and their pillar of light. But I work with color rays and frequencies in that way, and clear out not only whatever's going on physically and then above and around them, but also in their Akashic records.
Yeah.
Now, the one chakra that's been super important, or whatever you want to call it, energy center, whatever you want to call it, everyone, your root chakra is one of the most important ones, because that's where the trauma lodges in. That's what tells you you're not grounded. That's what prevents you from feeling stable and supported and loved on the earth. And then the earth star right below that. Once you get that set up, you feel like you're loved and supported on the planet. Like
yeah,
you're plugged in. It's like a USB cable. It's like you get plugged into the earth and you belong here, and that's so cool. Yeah.
And then what you were talking about, Matthew, in your last video was the thymus and the voice box, basically, because so many survivors don't get justice, because even when they tell people what happened to them, people don't believe them and they don't support them. So it gets trapped in that chakra there. And so that's why, voicing that out energetically is so important to kind of release that blockage, because that's what's going to cause another physical ailment in that body and affect your immune system, because your cortisols are spiked, levels are spiked, because you're in fight or flight all the time from all the trauma. It's kind of crazy.
Well, it's also frequencies that they're sending out. The other teams are always sending out frequencies of trauma. They're sending out like it, and I'm in this high-rise assignment complex.
I don't know how you did. I don't know how you.
I landed here after the lockdowns. Like, this is where we landed. So like there was
God.
nothing. I moved around with my cat like 5 times that year. It was insane.
Well, it's good you
So
have
when
a
we
cat.
landed here, I was like so relieved. But the thing is that I'm so plugged into what they're doing in the Matrix now, because literally this tsunami wave comes in, and they like to send out, especially on Fridays. It's super interesting. Poverty, lack consciousness. You don't belong here. Just give up. And it seems to really accelerate when we wake up in the morning.
It's, it's a form of suggestion all the time, like when you do hypnosis or any kind of mantra. It's
What
a
do you
form
think is sending it out, though? Like when you feel it every morning, do you ever feel a source or like a direction from which it's emanating?
I get sensations now for certain groups.
Hey, by the way, Rob,
archonic, it's nausea.
When you had Missy on the other day and she did my card reading, I laughed because she said, "Oh, I'm getting the obelisk for you, Renae." And then she said, "Oh, let me pull one more card." You know what she pulled? She pulled the Violet Flame of Saint Germain. Oh my God. I'm like, no shit. She goes, "You got to go higher." And that's my mantra. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. Then I start talking in Hebrew, Kodesh, Kodesh, and then I laughed because that's like one of the things I do. And it was just her tapping into my higher self and reminding me, yeah, Renae, you used to do this. Now go back and do some more of this. So see, we all need each other, right?
Yeah.
We all need each other for support, because none of us has all the answers all the time, right? So it's really important.
I was just trying to, it just brought back. So I do work with the dragons. I just find that their force with the violet flame is like super ultra powerful. They just like blast it. So during the lockdowns, I was having such a reaction going into all the stores because they were cleaning. They were cleaning like every 5 minutes with these toxic cleaners. And then they also were
dragon's blood incense to
No, I actually work physically with the energetic dragons, and I just send them,
Okay.
I send them ahead. I've been working with the dragons since 2017. So they are my ever faithful little companions that just blast everything out of the
You
way. But
so you send them out on like a scouting mission type
yeah,
of
you
thing?
can send them ahead. You can actually,
that's
there are
cool.
violet flame dragons. So you can send the violet flame dragons on ahead. Actually, this is a good tool for everyone. So what I did during the lockdowns, and I'm still doing it, is I was sending them to the stores, like let's say Walmart, because that's been my assignment since 2015. Send them ahead to raise the vibration of all the food and everything in the store for everyone.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
then, because I didn't know what I was buying. Half the time I couldn't even get what I wanted. Organic, forget it. Like there was nothing. So I remember thinking I couldn't worry about that. I couldn't stress about it. But how about instead of just raising the vibration for me, how about if I raise it for everyone every time I go into one of the stores, so that the cat food, the dog food, the everything, no matter if it's organic or not, because people stress about that. They stress about they can't grow their own food. They don't, even if something says it's organic, is it organic? Who knows? Like we have no idea. So
Yeah.
I just violet flame everything now. And I do it especially because I have a kitty. So I make sure that his food is high vibe, because he doesn't always like the good food. Sometimes he wants the junk food.
And actually, do your energy ball and then do it over your food and your water to accelerate and raise the vibratory frequency. Because we were given these talents and skill sets.
Yes.
But
and they work, and the tools work. The tools work.
And they do work. But see, because of all those lies, right, to control us, people have forgotten how powerful they really are. We do have these skill sets, and part of, I don't know, and I'm pretty sure part of all of our jobs is to remind people and then teach them what they are, and then they'll teach other people. They'll pay it forward. That's why we're here. We're here to help each other evolve. We're not here to just struggle in vain. We're not supposed to live somewhat joyous lives. We can't be in pain all the time, right? I mean, what fun would that be? Yeah. So, and by the way, you have a cat, which is the biggest Reiki healer in the world.
I know. He's in charge. He just lets me live here.
Reiki.
He just lets me live here.
Yeah, really. It's his.
And even this morning I pat him and he meowed like, excuse me. Did I say you could touch me? No.
Exactly.
He's super cool. Yeah.
But anyway, Matthew, you're so quiet. What are you thinking?
Oh, well, I was actually going to ask a question, and that is, what happens to the area when you release a dragon out over there to Walmart? Like, how does that affect the local area?
Yeah.
What does that do to the people there? Do they suddenly start like everyone, like gets all, like everyone's all friendly or?
Yeah. And you know what? You asked the most awesome question, because apparently what I've learned over the last few years is like something like Walmart, which was given to me as an assignment in 2014, which I didn't understand. And right now my unit
assignment.
Yeah. And I've moved around a lot since then. And my balcony faces the Walmart docking bay. Like you can't make this stuff up, right? Like this is where I landed. So what I do is I send it ahead. Initially, what I did was I would ask them to go in at night when nobody was there, in case they were really blasting the energy and bringing it. And I set the intention for them to anchor in joy, abundance, peace, like to do that. So they transmute all the lower vibrational energies. Cool. And now I can do it during the day because everything's been adjusted. It's been over a few years, but I do always say, I set the intention that make sure whatever you're doing, it's palatable to everybody who's coming and going. Like it's not going to freak everybody out. Right. So it has made a difference. I'll tell you what's happened to this Walmart in the last year. They just did a huge renovation. They took out most of the self-checkouts. And they brought back the people. We now have human checkouts. Yes.
You know what? They've done the same thing here.
Yeah.
I'm on the east side of Pennsylvania.
I love that. So that's like a ripple effect, right? We've all been doing our work even unconsciously. So it does make a difference. I do feel the vibration does change. And I've got they're at a shopping mall. Like Rob and I've shared about shopping malls too. You all know this too. Like they literally, first they were very low vibration and now they're just trying to get rid of them.
Malls, like in general, you mean?
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, there is something strange happening there. Are they going to use them for FEMA camps, or is it going to be a physical?
They better not, because I'm right beside.
Is it going to be a physical extension of mall world?
Maybe I think what they're trying to do is they don't want us all gathering.
That's
They don't
what
want
it
a lot of
is.
human contact.
That's
They want everyone to
exactly what it
order
is.
online, right? Like
Right.
Rob and I have this
What
dream
if we
about Best
stay
Buy
6
coming
feet
back.
apart?
They want to keep us isolated. That's how they can control us better. Because why? Because we're not putting up with their shit anymore. We're warriors now. We're like, fuck this, we're out. Okay. You know, when they tried to kill me like they did with Mac with a car accident in 2017. Okay, when I just bought my brand new car, I had a visitation from the reptilians. Okay. Woke up the next day with a goddamn triangle stamped on my left big toe, black and blue. Black and blue. Well, usually when you get a bruise, right, doesn't it kind of filter out? No, this was a perfect triangle.
Wow.
Next day, I'm on the road. I'm in Downers Grove, Illinois, because I lived in Illinois, right near Chicago. I go to pull out and make a U-turn. There was nothing on this road. Next thing you know, boom, some Mexicans and a big Mexican, corn truck of some sort smashed right into the back of my car. They were nowhere. And that day was really interesting because I felt myself going in and out of, like, what's the word? Confusion. Like, where am I? Who am I? Like, it was almost like somebody was messing with me so they could confuse me so I wouldn't pay attention. And basically what they did is they pulled me out of whatever timeline I was in, or they put that in my timeline to take me out. Because why? Because I was supposed to go to Roswell and meet with, I had something scheduled with Donald Schmidt from the ufology people, that whole group of people. I was supposed to go through him, set up an appointment, meet with Roswell, the daughter and the daughter and the granddaughter of the Army colonel that was there at Roswell when the plane crashed. Okay, that had an abduction experience. I was supposed to go out there and start to write the book and pick up what Dr. Mack left off. They tried to kill me.
Yeah.
And the night before that accident, I had this visitation where I saw this reptilian ship. Okay, right? This reptilian ship. And then they showed me this little 8-year-old boy with these big blue eyes and this brown hair with the bangs. I'll never forget it. And they came to me as a child and they said, you don't want to do this. The next day I woke up with the triangle on my foot and then the accident. And it freaked me out for quite a while.
What do you remember what month that was, Renae?
It was 2017. It was right when I bought my new car. I want to say it was September, October sometime.
Because we went through the very first massive, like, leveling up timeline shift in North America when that eclipse came in August, third week in August. I think it was the 21st.
Yes, we did. It changed my entire life. Yeah,
changed my life too. I had to bug out of a house that day.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm the most
that was a physical timeline shift. That's really cool that you know that. Yeah,
and the thing is that
reality.
Exactly. And the thing is, at that point in time, I had been, because Dr. Mack was basically my mentor. I respected him so much because he put himself out there in a community that could have just emaciated and screwed his reputation up. And somehow he survived it, right, before they killed him and took him out. And the thing is that, like, I never wanted to believe that those kind of things could ever happen to me. But when that happened to me, that's when I thought, I'm never going to not believe another person who ever walks into my office again who tells me that they've been through these experiences, because now I've had that experience and now I'm a believer. And I kept this secret for so long. I never wanted to come out because, I worked in 3D psychology, right? You're going to send me clients? No, she's a wacko, right? She thinks these things are like, but after that changed my whole philosophy about any kind of abduction at all. Whether you think it's from the military, it's a galactic alien, I don't care what it is. All I cared about now was the remnants of what it does to the human person. And I
think it's all of the above. I think there's multiple abductions from different groups. Messing with humanity has been for thousands of years. And
So how do we stop them? That's what I want to know.
well, it's a slow. I think right now, like I was letting Renee know via email, and I don't know, you all can share about this, but the file drops are going to be like a drip, drip, drip until we can get some of the regular people, because we've been lied to for so long. So go back to Roswell. I did a little video about Roswell, and I'm fascinated about this whole thing now, because 1947, initially what they said was it was a flying disc. They found it. They found little aliens, and then within 2 hours, they changed the story to weather balloons, and everyone was told that story, and everybody there believed that. Like they were just basically.
And that's why they tried to take me out, because I was getting ready to get on a plane to go interview that family. Okay. Because
so you're one of many that this has been going on for so long. Yeah.
And you know, normally I'm a double Scorpio Aquarius rising, so don't fucking piss me off. Okay.
Oh my goodness. So that full moon in Scorpio must have really just got you all jacked up.
Yeah, don't piss. Exactly. But then again, at the same point, it's like, that's the thing I like about me the most, because it's like, you know what, if you're gonna fuck with people, I'm gonna make sure that I out you.
Well, it has been. It's been moving us into this war. It's been moving us all into this warrior stance, because here we all are. Yeah, we're still on mission. I'm sure Matthew has experiences he can share with us of them, like messing with him. Same with Rob. Same with me. Yeah. I mean, I share about this all the time. I kind of go in and out of it, because even right now, as we're talking about it, I'm getting this pressure on my head from them.
Yeah, and
it's not a bad pressure. They can't interfere with us, because I set source up for all of us. But they let me know, we don't like you all talking about us.
Like, you know,
I'm going, that's okay.
And by the way, Matthew's book is really good, because every time he does his video, I didn't read his book, but every time he does his video, he's reading his book actually. Okay.
Yeah,
and he tells his story in the book.
You can just listen to it.
It's really
cool.
Yeah. Well, we should buy it.
Have to notice all the typos.
I told him the next book, send it to me. I'll edit it, because I had my colleague help me edit my second book. But I mean, you know, so all these experiences that we've had, it's like, no, we've been in the trenches. We've experienced this stuff. We know what they do. And now it's like, screw that shit. It's now or never, you know?
Well, I bet you all of us, with that physical timeline change in 2017, I bet you we all got redirected somehow. I did. Renee did. Like I was living in one area that day of the eclipse. I got moved into another area, and I changed timelines.
So that timeline was in 2017?
August 21st, 2017. Now, what's interesting is we don't usually have eclipses in August. Guess what we're having this year? We got an eclipse in August. But that was the first of 3 eclipses that went over North America, and they all went over Texas, which is super interesting that's where you are. Yeah. I started to look at the trajectory. Now, I also started looking at the Mandela effect after that. Plus, the dragons came to work with me a month before. They showed up in my reality going, hey, Babe Valley, remember us? And I'm like, okay, cool, dragons. Right? I have no idea that they've been my companions the whole time. They've been guarding me. But that right after what happened on the 21st, that's how I remember the date. For those of you who, like for me, early on, it was angels, and I was involved with a lot of new age stuff, because that actually helped me with crystals and helped me remember a bunch of things. But literally that day, Doreen Virtue released a video saying she was no longer supporting whatever she supported. None of us even saw the video for like a week, because we were all doing our own thing. Like literally, I went back and she released a video that day saying, I oppose everything that I've ever written or done.
Who was that posted that?
That was Doreen Virtue.
Oh, before she fell off the planet.
Yeah, no one even knows or cares about her now, right?
I haven't looked at her, but I don't think it's her. I think she got replaced.
No, I'm telling you, she changed so much when she married that other guy. Okay, that was not the person I knew. Okay,
no, I think she got replaced, because I saw her speaking 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
blonde hair, brunette hair, so not the same at all.
Yeah, and actually,
that was 2015.
She was a 3rd generation, not only psychologist, but psychic medium, her family generationally. So for you to shift that much and go completely against the grain of who you are, no, I don't think so.
We're going to share with you.
I didn't buy it.
I have a question about the eclipse that's happening in August of this year, and I'm going to preface it with a very, very brief experience. Like you, I went through a life-changing event that took place during that eclipse. I was at the foot of Mount Shasta during a conference with
Wow.
literally Corey and all those people at the time. They were doing a huge conference there that year, and that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. But what it does have to do with is that was actually a period in my life in which I was guided by spirit to create a contract renegotiation protocol that I would then read at the height of the eclipse with an intention of physically transporting whatever aspect of myself I could to, another version of, reality. And coincidentally, that was the month I started doing this work, just about 9 years ago. As soon as that period kind of took off, this stage of my life began. And so my question to you is, what do you think that means? And one more thing, a lot of other people had similar changes right around that time. Many of us that were within that soul group had a huge physical earth timeline shift as a result of that eclipse. So my question to you is, what do you think this one coming up in August of this year, because that's 10 years, right?
Yeah.
10 years later.
Right, it is 10 years.
Okay,
right?
I think I should ask the records, Matthew.
Yeah, what do you think it means?
Because I'm not even sure of the signs. I just looked into the eclipse, like when the dates were, because
Yeah.
already this year we've had an eclipse in February and March, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Usually it's March, April. So why don't the records are open? Why don't I just see what needs to come in?
Yeah, you're doing the Akash, right?
Yeah, because I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'm already getting a headache about it. So it's going to be another big one.
So that's a really good question. So now that we know, we can maybe prepare ourselves somehow for it.
Yeah, I do know in July the nodes change. So the nodes change every 18 months. So this coming July, they're going to change. And right now, I can't remember what they're changing into, but that's always a big transition as well.
Aren't they bringing in new light codes too?
Yes. And then when the nodes shift, we move into new energy, because then the eclipses flip in and out of that new energy. So I believe Aquarius is one of them. I'm not positive.
Right.
So we're getting less and less away from that Piscean energy of like control and manipulation. But I'm thinking, because we're going to end up with one in August, it's going to be big. And well, I don't know how the first part of the year was for you. Rob and I were sharing about it too. It was painful. It was painful for so many people. Last year was a really tough year for everyone. The year of the snake, and it's like we're still cleaning up little pieces of it. We had that first eclipse in February, and then Mercury went into retrograde for 3 weeks. So it's like, let's just torture you all for 3 more weeks. You want to move forward, but you can't. Kind of thing.
And now my rising sign, it's bad enough being a double Scorpio sun and moon, but now my rising sign is Aquarius. So now I'm sitting here going, well, it's now or never, right? It's like it's going to happen, so I might as well just embrace it. It just whatever happens, just go with it and stop fighting it, because what can you do? You just got to handle it as best as you can.
Yeah. So I got the 2 of Cups first off the bat. So right off the bat, it's going to be another new beginning, another like what you went through, Matthew, another what do we want to really become through the next 18 months with the eclipses and different energy. Then the 7 of Wands. So a lot of light codes, a lot of solar flares. Yeah, August is huge for that. So that's what I do. I remember that August, what that changed our lives. The light codes were so intense. I had such a hard time being grounded.
Well, that was the solar flares that were coming in.
They were, but if you think about how long ago that was, like some of us were already understanding and like figured that out. But a lot of people didn't. I remember actually literally my whole entire life understanding that grounding was the most important thing, because I never felt grounded. I never felt grounded. Then we have the Page of Swords. So
now's a good time to buy a grounding mat too.
Yeah, I have one of those for sure. Yeah,
I have one. I'm definitely going to be using that more and more.
I'm feeling like just initially, because it's still a little bit too soon, that there's going to be a shift in energy that's going to be like that, like basically like a light, like something turning off and on, but it's going to be individual. It's not like a big major arcana. So it's not going to be like for everyone, the whole planet's going to figure this out. But overall, it's going to be fantastic. So we got the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. So very much like a fresh start and another fresh start, new beginning, because we always have those. But it's going to be profound, I think, on an individual level. than a collective level from what I've seen so far.
I'm down with that. I'm cool with it.
Sorry, a Harley just went by.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
You can hear the kickback when the Harley goes by.
Oh, that's all right. That's a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I just know it. I feel it's significant because we probably haven't had an eclipse in August since that time. I'm not sure.
My question is,
so how can we help people though deal with that? What's the best thing? What are some of the things we can tell them to?
I think all the light codes coming in right now have been so intense. I think that's preparing us anyway. I don't know how you all have been, but I find every Lionsgate gets more intense as the years go by. I even like in 2014 on the day of the Lionsgate, which I didn't understand about the light codes. I didn't understand what was going on. We had a bear over at our local lake out during the day, which is not normal. So I was so tired from the light coming in, but I pushed myself to go and see the bear. I was so excited to see the bear. I zipped out of my body while I was walking. And then I zipped back in, and then I fell and I fractured my elbow. So that's how important grounding is. Like that, like don't listen to the mind trying to push you to do things. Like if you're tired, go lie down. If you can't drive, pull over. If you're exhausted, go and have a nap. Like it's just not worth it. That's a really
great suggestion.
Yeah.
Because you know, we often push ourselves beyond what we should be. And
well, that was early days. No one was really even talking about the symptoms and making sure that you're resting and hydrating, all of that.
And that's why I like to have these panels where we all share kind of what we do, you know, because we need that. There's not enough people doing that. They're all arguing about things. Okay.
Yeah. And who knew that we could leave our bodies without even trying?
Exactly.
Like I would, right? So literally this big wave of light, I felt it. So I'm kind of in a bowl where I am, like there's mountains right behind me. So literally when the light comes from the sun, all the portals open. So the mountains like literally open.
Nice.
And for the longest, it is nice now, but for the longest time, I couldn't deal with it. For the longest time, I wasn't grounded. I wasn't connected. I wasn't plugged in. So now it's great. Like I'm like, okay, I go right outside and it feels amazing. But back then a wave would come in and literally, you can get pulled right out of your body. It's it's like a 500-foot wave.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I always share with people, if you're driving and you feel something and you feel like you can't drive, pull over because you're going to be zipping out of your body.
And the other thing I was telling like my clients too is that, you know, water is a good grounding thing. So if you jump in the shower and it goes down the frontal cortex here of your brain, where, you know, and your seat of emotion sits right here, it can really ground the energy, the water itself, you know. And so, you know, that's always another source to kind of ground yourself. And oftentimes when you're in the shower and it's running over your third eye, people often have visions. They have insights that come, you know, they clear a lot of stuff. They don't even know that they're consciously doing it. But that's the beauty of water. It's a purification. Matthew's like shaking his head.
Oh yeah, I very much agree. Except, you know, like the third eye is so 2025. Now I'm into the ninth eye. So, you know,
what's
sorry,
that?
everyone.
So it's okay. You share what is the ninth
So
eye? I'm fascinated.
I don't know. I'm just making it up right now.
I love it.
So I'll tell you, when I lived in Santa Fe for like 17 months while I was going through my hypnosis training. Okay. And I was doing soul retrievals. I was on Indian reservations, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But the reason I'm saying about the third eye is because while I was doing my meditations and my soul retrievals and that sort of thing, I noticed I saw this eye, literally the eye of God. And I would walk into a metaphysical bookstore in Santa Fe. It was like so beautiful. This store was like heaven. Okay. Every book you could ever want or dream of was in this store metaphysically. And I wanted to figure out about this third eye. You know, what was this? Why was I seeing this, you know, as I was meditating in my shower? And I swear to God, the book fell off the shelf, opened up to the page with the exact eye that I was seeing. I was like, wow, thank you so much, Spirit, right? Because it's really important, you know, to, you know, develop that part of yourself, because that's really a good connection for your higher self to ground you with your spiritual energy. And so continue to, you know, do your mindfulness, do your meditations, do your showers, do your grounding, you know, and all those things that kind of elevate you, you know, and make you feel good about yourself every day, because you're right. you know, this energy that's coming in, it comes in waves, and it's overwhelming some days. Like some days I go, where did this come from? You know, like what's going on today? You know, and this overwhelming desire to kind of like eat right away. Now in the morning when I wake up, I used to just get up and have something to drink my coffee. Now I have to eat like immediately, because I'm not like in my body. Where am I? You know?
We just
And
and we just went through a big wave on Wednesday and Thursday. So I was like wide awake.
Exactly.
How about you, Rob? I was wide awake from like noon till 5 in the morning, or midnight till 5 in the morning, Wednesday through Thursday. So we just had like a big solar storm and a M-class flare, and
or you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, you wake up at 3 a.m. and you go, okay, who woke me up this time, right?
Yeah. So
I've been sleeping all night. I've been going to bed at like 10, 11 o'clock and just sleeping until, you know, about 5 or 6 a.m. and I just wake up. Sometimes I wake up at 3 in the morning, but like I've been sleeping pretty good actually.
Oh, that's good.
What do you think your sleep score is?
I don't know.
Sleep score. I want everybody here to answer this question. What do you think your sleep score is?
I have. How do you answer? I mean,
I don't know. I just know a lot of cool people on really big shows talk about their sleep score. You know,
really?
So we have to
do it too.
I'm going to talk about my sleep score. Let's pause for a message from our.
So is it out of 10, Matthew? Is it out of 10?
I think it's out of 100. And so somehow you wear this, like you wear like an iPhone watch, and it interfaces with your like biometrics, and like it implants itself in your spinal column. And it basically measures how long you stay asleep. So in the morning when you wake up, it gives you this readout, and it's like, bing, your sleep score is 89.
I had a client come in today wearing that ring. Okay. He was telling, because I was asking him about his sleep. As you know, it's one of the clinical questions I ask, because I want to see, do you have depression? What the hell's going on, right?
What do you guys think your sleep score is? That was a serious question. If you had to guess, what would you say your sleep score is?
So if you had asked me 5 years ago, we have this big thing that's been imprinted on us that if we don't sleep through the night, and if we're not getting 8 hours sleep, that there's something wrong with us. Right. So now what I figured out through this, especially since 2017, I now have 2 sleeps. So I go to sleep, I get knocked out, I get woken up, I don't know, sometimes between 3, 4 in the morning. My cat loves it because he gets another snack. So we're all good about that. And I'm not stressing about it anymore. So I do a couple of little things, and then I go back and have a second sleep. So even though that's I don't get a full like through the night all the time, I would still say like 80.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing. Same thing.
Yeah.
I went into acceptance of like, okay, I'm not always going to get, 10 hours or 8 hours or whatever anymore.
As long as I'm getting some rapid eye movement REM, just so I can heal whatever's going on in my body, I'm cool with that.
Okay, so we got one person has a sleep score of 80. Renae, what do you think your sleep score is?
Maybe 55.
Okay.
Not. I don't think it's good, because I just wake up and I go, okay, who woke me up this time? What do you want? Basically.
Okay.
It's okay. We go through stages like that.
You often wake up between 1 and 3 a.m.
Actually, between 2 and 3 is my time. Okay, and I think that's a liver issue too, by the way.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Supposedly for most people, like the biomechanics behind why you wake up is because the liver goes into action and your blood sugar dips. And so there's this piece of you that becomes like, what? Where's my blood sugar?
And that's why I did a liver detox.
Where'd we go?
I did a liver detox and a colon detox about 3.5 weeks ago. And I'm going to do another one pretty soon, because it does affect your sleep.
What'd you use for the colon detox, Renae? What's good to use? What do you
remember? YouTube. This is for entertainment purposes only.
All happening in Minecraft.
I will post a link for it to you. I actually could go get the box and show it to you.
Yeah.
But it's a 7-day. It's a 7-day cleanse, and what it does is it works on the biome in the colon, which is your second brain, right?
Yeah.
And it cleans out all those little pockets in there with the goo, where you get clogged. And then it also does this liver detox, but it also does liver support. So you're
Wow.
not stressing the liver while you're detoxing it,
Yeah.
and it's researched in, their clinical laboratory. I don't buy stuff that I can't check out where it's made. Okay. Okay.
Art.
As
You know,
far
but,
as like my sleep goes, like I took a nap before this podcast. I think that's why I've been so quiet, because it knocked me out. But I've been sleeping good lately. But then if it's a full moon or something's going on, like energy, I was like Pink Bell was right. I'll be up all night. But like sometimes, like lately, I've been sleeping all night. So I'd say like my sleep score is like a 50. It's not. It's like kind of all over the place.
and you know what? If you're on technology all day long, okay, you're getting the EMFs, right? Okay. It's affecting your electromagnetic frequency. So are you using anything like this?
I have a hat I use, and I have
I put this under my laptop.
Is it a tinfoil hat?
I have a grounding. Yeah, it actually is. I mean, it's actually, I can show you. It's actually lined. It's actually here.
Matthew, did I see you wearing that one day, a tinfoil hat somewhere? I was.
Oh no, I don't think so. I have worn a series of other hats though, but
I thought I saw you. Unless it was David Sarita, but
I'll definitely wear a weird hat.
This hat's lined with
So what is that?
It's called a bulletproof. This is like, I should wear this all the time, but I don't because it's hot. But yeah.
Rob, what is it? What is it? What is it made of?
It's a bulletproof beanie. It's for EMF V2K, and it's a beanie. But it's lined with like some kind of lining.
They sell like little Geiger counter kinds of devices so you can test with or without the EMF around you, and that can really drain your energy and work on your immune system, Rob. So because you're on a computer for like hours, okay.
But I'm always make sure I go for a walk too. I'm out of shape, but I still go for like a 5-6 mile walk, usually every day. Not every day, but like mostly every day. Like I'm still like in shape good enough to where I can do like 5 to 7 mile walks easily every day.
That's good.
Like
awesome.
even with the vaping, are you able to do that with the vaping?
I can walk 7 miles
while you're walking.
I can. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of built different.
You know what that shit does to your lungs, right?
He knows. Rob, what about the red light therapy? Are you still using that?
Oh, that's good.
I have it right back here. Yeah, I have the red light there. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm using it. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I haven't noticed much of a difference, but yeah, it's. I think it's working. Yeah.
But by the time you get to a certain age, not only do your enzymes drop, but your liver is overtaxed from all the shit that we breathe in and eat, right? So if you have issues of anger or leftover stuff like that, and you haven't desensitized that, then it does affect the liver. So like when you're working on that chakra system with the liver, it's really important to kind of do those kinds of clearings. And I know Matthew does a lot too with those issues when he's working with people too. But the liver is huge. People just kind of ignore it like it's not a big deal.
Well, it's the main channel that clears everything. Emotional,
it's your lint screen with your dryer.
Yeah. So I would like to know Matthew's sleep score.
Oh, thank you for asking, by the way. Thank you for asking. I estimate my sleep score is approximately 78 at this present time.
78.
Yes. Don't ask me why. It just felt like a good number. I don't really know my sleep score because I don't wear one of those stupid.
I don't wear any of those devices.
I don't have the app, so I literally just make it up every day. And like I tell Honora, like, what's your sleep score? And she's like, oh God. Mine was.
She's like, really?
Yeah. She's like, whatever.
Your wife tolerates that, right?
Yeah.
Today, I said 80 today because I had a good sleep in.
Right.
I didn't have an alarm that went off, and the weather got cooler. Everyone, we have rain today, so my kitty and I are all happy. So it's all good.
There you go.
Sleep is so important because that's how the body regenerates itself. And when you don't sleep right, things don't work right. Let's just say.
That's
you can have all the energy in the world, but then you're going to crash at some point. So we have 50, 55, 80, and 78. Kind of like a range here of being this cycle.
I know. And if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago when it was like 90 in here, I would have said my sleep score was like, 5. So there you go. There you go. So it's better. Cooler temperature's better. Is there anything that you guys that we haven't talked about? Rob, is there anything that you wanted us to look at or talk about? Or
Do we have people asking questions, by the way? Are there people in the audience asking questions?
We have about 70 people watching, but nobody's really asked any questions yet. But we have a good audience, yeah.
Okay,
And that's not.
I have a
Go ahead.
question to ask everyone, even all
Okay.
the people in the chat.
okay.
And this is a question that I've asked before. No, it's not Snake Island versus
I was
North
going to say,
Sentinel
is it
Island.
Snake Island?
It's not
When you
that
asked those
one.
questions, Matthew, I looked up both of them and I was like, I'm not
You
going
did,
to either
didn't
one of
you?
them.
I knew you did. You're like, wait a minute, what's this man?
They both
getting
sounded
into?
terrible.
I don't
They
know.
both sounded terrible.
Here is another question, and this is a serious one. It's very serious. So if you're watching in the chat, I want you to start acting serious starting right now. Okay, here we go. It's a very serious question. No, I'm serious. You're about to be granted a superhero ability, and you are going to be the only person in the world with this specific ability. You have
Wow.
two choices. This is your chance right here. Okay, and so you can either one. And this is for everyone out there. You're going to press 1 if your choice is to fly, or 2 if your choice is to turn invisible at will. Those are your choices. You only get one choice. You can't trade. You're going to be like that for the rest of your life. And you're the only person you know. Not saying you're the only person on Earth. You're just going to not have any homies that are flying or going invisible with you. So it's going to be a solo journey. 1, you're going to fly. 2, you turn invisible. What is your choice?
That's easy because
What?
before you said that, I heard invisibility for me.
I
So-
choose invisibility, number 2.
I like to be invisible.
Well, I mean, if you're invisible, you can. I mean, you can't really. If you go invisible, you can't really. I would think I would choose flying because then you can cover more area. You can go wherever you want.
We got a flyer. Okay.
Think about it. If you can fly, you can be from here to the pyramids in like no time.
You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You want, right?
Yeah, and you could do your own chemtrails. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Technically, you could. You could technically. Wait, wasn't that a show in the 90s where this kid flew by like using aerosol cans? Wasn't there a show? No, there was.
I don't remember
There's a
that.
show in the
That sounds
90s.
familiar.
Can anyone? Okay, are we doing a Mandela effect? There was a show with this
There was a show.
kid, and he flew with like air cans, just like there was that show with that teenage girl who was actually an AI robot. Everybody forgot about that one.
What was that?
Right. Can anyone out there tell me the name of that show? Where
I don't know.
Don't look it up. I swear.
I'm not looking it up. Rob can look it up. I don't
If
do
you
that.
look it up, I'll know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I remember the Flying Nun with Sally Fields, but she wasn't a robot.
It was they had a little girl in the family that was literally a robot. It was in the era of Alf.
Was that
So,
Lost in Space? Lost in Space?
No.
Oh, I love that show. It's my favorite.
Oh, somebody in the chat said it. Oh, Lord.
Oh, they did?
It's called
Jesus.
A Small Wonder?
It was. That's Small Wonder. Very, very.
Holy shit! I remember that show now. That was a
People
long time ago. I think
It
that
was.
was the 80s, right?
Right, but what was the
I
show
don't
where the
know.
guy flew with the aerosol cans? Can anyone tell me that? And I don't actually know the name of that one, so I'm not
don't either.
asking you.
I'm not
Maybe I
sure.
wasn't on the planet at the time because none of those ring a bell. I was too busy, I guess.
Oh,
Somebody said the Jetsons, but that's not right, is it, Matthew?
Retro.
no.
Retro.
I don't think
Red
it
Rock.
was the Jetsons. I don't think
Isn't
was
it
the
funny how
Jetsons.
your brain just goes right there?
Okay, but anyway, we're going back to the original question. You can fly or turn invisible. So Rob is gonna fly.
He's gonna
Renee's
fly.
turning invisible. Bella, what do you think?
I'm invisible too. Number 2.
Okay. I will reveal my choice at a later date. What about some
that's not
people in the
fair.
chat, Rob?
You have to reveal your choice before we finish today.
There's
You haven't
only
told me.
one choice for me. There's literally only one choice.
What is your choice?
I'll turn invisible. Are you kidding me? There is only.
Well, I'm
one
thinking if we
choice.
can't, I was going to choose number 3. both of them, because how
Yeah.
great would that be to have those superpowers? Right? You
What
can
would
fly
be
and
door
be
number
invisible.
3? What would be
No,
door
there
number 3?
isn't. That's the kicker. There is no door number 3.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But that's me be instigating, going, "What's in
It
door
tells
number
you a
3?"
lot about a person, though. It actually tells you a lot about what people value. It teaches you a lot about their personality type. It teaches you a lot about how people might even navigate conflicts. Sorry to throw that question out, but that's an old
That
group.
was
That's
good.
the old group therapy opening question.
Oh, I
Oh,
like
no,
your
that's good.
clinical
Back
analysis.
in
That was
back in the
good.
day, I used to come up with all these weird questions where I'd be like, "I'll ask everybody this question," and then, because nobody wants to talk. Like, do you know how it is, right? Everyone's just sitting there like,
On their phone.
Well,
and then you know what I mean.
that's
And then
better than
you ask
doing
weird questions, and everybody opens up. So
that's better than doing ink blots to figure out where people
that would be fun. I never had an ink blot test. I pray for the day I get one. I want to have an ink blot test.
What do you do when your client shows up with a T-shirt and he's wearing an ink blot on his T-shirt?
Oh.
That
That's a
happened to
cool
me
shirt.
today.
So, okay. So, one totally off the side, one thing that's been coming forward a lot recently has been the Gates program.
Yeah, I heard.
Right. So that's been coming forward. It's actually now part of my scan with clients.
Wait,
because the client can't change.
you mean the Gateway or Bill Gates?
No, the Gates.
No, it's actually called the Gates program. So I feel it wasn't when
Oh,
I was in
Gates,
school.
like gifted and talented education.
Yes,
Okay,
thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, there we go. Now I know. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Today,
No, so
Lily-
it's been coming forward a lot, and apparently David Wilcock was also, he remembered he was part of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
today I was watching Lily Nova.
Yes.
She was telling about the GATE program that she went through.
Oh, so she went through it as well.
She
You
said
gifted
she
and
went through
talented.
it.
Yeah.
I was watching it a couple hours ago.
Okay, I'll go check it out because
So
it
I'm
came
not
through.
familiar with that.
It came through another podcast that I was on, and then I've had clients that have come to me saying that they suddenly remembered that they were part of it when they were. So it's part of my scan that I do for certain sessions now. But then David Wilcock, he also talked about it. And when I was going through school, it was early days. We didn't have the technology, but they did have like the predecessor to that program, because there was in the first like grade 2, 3, there was some type of testing that we all went through that segregated.
That's right. That's right.
The gifted kids got like yarded off into this where there
right.
were some of my guy friends, and I would ask them later what they did, and they would tell me, and it sounded so boring. So I was like, okay, I don't want to be part of the program.
Well, you know what? She was also talking about the Bluebird program and the yellow buses that they would put the kids on. They were called Bluebirds, and it was part of that GATE program.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that video, you should go back and watch
I will
it.
go watch it.
Okay, I saw it earlier today. And she was very calm about it. Okay, and I was like, and these things, they sound like they're so like, I don't know, not non-threatening, but when you think about what that was, that they were like basically pulling us out and testing us so they could do what? Take us and manipulate us.
Yeah, they were already keeping tabs on a lot of gifted. That's why they want. So what I received so far is that they were the whatever powers that be, Illuminati, whatever deep state, whatever we want to call them. They already knew a bunch of very gifted light beings were coming to the planet. So they implemented the testing to start to keep track of everybody, where they were, and that type of thing. So
and then what they were talking about is then they would take those kids and they would fracture them, disassociative states, right? Right, traumatize them so they could be more manipulated, through suggestion, the powers of suggestion. And that's what is that? That's MK Ultra? Isn't that what they do to people?
I think
right?
It's one version of it. I think there's a bunch of ultras. Rob, is there a bunch of ultras, not just MK Ultra?
Rob has a lot of those people on his show.
There's MK Delta, there's MK Often. That's the two other ones that I know of. I think there's a couple of them. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I think. Yeah.
So they probably in one form or another, the larger groups have been testing individuals for a long time.
And those people, when they come to you for treatment, I mean, they're really, they don't trust anybody. And should they? Would I? I don't know.
Well, a lot of them have had their memories wiped, and it's just coming forward now because everyone's talking about it. So that's why I wanted to bring it forward, because I wasn't sure who knew about it.
And by the way, that was like one of the things I wanted to cover with the trauma. So when I have clients come to me, maybe they don't have a specific memory. It's not intact. There's a lot of confusion around the abuse. So when you're doing the EMDR, the beauty of the EMDR is you don't have to struggle with the memory because the body has a body memory. So what happens is those emotions come up and then they trigger the memories, and the memories come back. And even the ones that have been given hypnotic suggestions to block them, oftentimes, I won't do hypnosis. I'll specifically do the EMDR because then I know that, and they know that when these memories are coming up, nobody's implanting anything in their brain, okay, in their subconscious programming. It's all coming out of their emotional energy field. And then they go, oh shit, that really did happen to me. Yeah, because I didn't make it happen, right? I didn't tell you. There's no coaching here going on because that's unethical to do that to a person, right? So that's the beauty of like when you're doing that energy work with the EMDR. And they don't talk about it. So when you don't talk about the trauma, you don't re-trigger it. You don't stamp the energy field. You don't stamp the frontal cortex or the where the seat of emotion sit right here, because you're not talking about it. So you don't re-traumatize by stamping the energy with that trauma. So that's why when you're doing the EMDR, it's so much safer for a person. And then they're also consciously awake. They're not in trance like hypnosis states. So they feel that they take back their locus of power and control, right? Because you're working together as a team. You're not fixing anybody. You're not curing anybody. They're actually doing it, desensitizing the energy themselves. Then those memories come up all on their own. And there's no, nobody telling them what those memories are. So that's kind of the beauty of doing EMDR therapy. Enough said.
I just wanted to add to that, just so everybody knows, we all have traumas. Every single one of us. There's not one person on the planet that does not have traumas. And I went through my health, like I started having a reaction to foods that were being brought into Canada early on.
Oh.
They were already adding additives to the foods that they were bringing into Canada, so I was already having a reaction. So through that, I ended up going to someone who would muscle test me and test my meridians.
Kinesiology.
And then it would be, thank you for that word. Yeah, I can remember. And then for 3 years, he trained me to learn about what was going on in my body and where all the emotions and everything were blocked. So at that time early on, like, I think I didn't understand that everyone had it. I thought it was just me, like, oh, I'm a big hot mess, like, what's going on here? But in actual fact, everything gets locked into our body really early on. Like they're saying basically from the time we're conceived up until the age of 7, we are programmed and we have trauma, and we come in multidimensional. We bring in multidimensional traumas as well. So there's all sorts of things so it's normal, everyone. Trauma is just like an old program that you basically want to heal, clear, release, and you become, more whole, more in a higher vibration, more yourself. And then you can live a better existence and be on a higher timeline.
And kind of as an adjunct to what you just said. So when I went through my hypnosis training in Santa Fe, I was there for like a year and a half, and I was doing like 3 to 6 months of this. Not every hypnotherapist does this. Sometimes they go through a weekend course. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough, right? So what happens is that when a person is hypnotized back into the womb, let's just say they have an issue, and you hypnotize them back into the womb, usually what you find is that the energy stamp that's on the energy field is not theirs. Yeah. It's from a parent, whatever was going on around them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of fetuses, like you said, you're going to retain everything that's ever happened to you at any time or place, right?
Imprints, yeah, imprints.
It's definitely an imprint.
Yeah.
And so then when you show them where the imprint is and they desensitize that, then it's released out of the energy field, the emotional body, and they stop getting triggered, right? And I don't tell them to go there. Their higher self took them there. I'm just doing the hypnotic intervention. I'm just doing what they taught me to do. But the person knows where to go. And then they see it, and then they can clear it and desensitize that energy. Because you're right. We all do have trauma. And maybe it's not from this lifetime. Maybe it's from how many thousands of other lifetimes, right? So, so when you're working with somebody, you don't know where this stuff is coming from. All I know is I'm going where the client needs me to go with them. Right, we're a team. That's kind of how we work together.
Yeah,
right?
Just to facilitate help clearing. Just I agree. I'm the same. Like I'm just facilitating and liaisoning and bringing in. I like to give tools as well for people to be empowered.
And actually, and actually with hypnosis, it has a negative connotation, because everybody thinks, well, I'm going to do stage hypnosis and make it quack like a duck. No, that's not how I roll. Okay. If you want to quack like a duck, I'm not your person. Okay. But you're right. Everybody does have trauma. And, the more we talk about like the solutions that we all do with our clients, then it gives people opportunities to pick and choose the thing that feels right for them. Because not everything is right for everybody.
Well, that's why I wanted to like sort of say it's normal. So
Absolutely.
even when I scan, and even PTSD, like that's a label that's also been placed on people sometimes through diagnosis, and then they carry that with them through their entire lives, and then they think they're not ever going to be, I'll never be normal. What is that? We didn't all come in to be normal, everyone. Just so you know.
or what I have found is they're misdiagnosed. Okay, when I worked at Loyola in Chicago, I worked Department of Psychiatry for a while, and the psychiatrist would say, "What are you doing to my patients? They're getting better. They're going off their meds." Well, I'm doing my fucking job. Okay,
right.
I'm helping them desensitize their trauma, because guess what? You're just putting a Band-Aid on the issue, right? And so that is true, but the thing is that I would find out that they've been misdiagnosed. Borderline, personality disorder, bipolar, but if you don't do an appropriate assessment and you ask all the questions you need to ask, you're just going to label people. And I always say to people, you want me to do a treatment plan, I'll do your treatment. I said, but here's the deal. Okay. We're mind, body, and spirit. We're mind, body, and spirit. So whatever diagnosis anybody is giving you, that's just them academically doing what they were taught to do. But you don't have to buy into that label. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as you label something, then it stamps the energy field, right? More trauma. Why would you do that to your person that you're working with?
Because that's what we were told we had to do.
Exactly. But now we don't have to do that anymore.
Well, I'll give you an example. So when I had that elbow fracture, which by the way, I've never since then, knock on wood, never had a bone like injury before. So that was like one of the most painful experiences I've ever been through in my life, to have it regrow. Like it took 9 months of therapy and everything to get my elbow back. But what I want to share with you is they stamped me at the emergency and basically said I would never be able to use my arm properly again, and it would never be straight.
You know what that's
already inside my head, I'm going, thank you for the diagnosis.
How did you fracture your elbow though?
I zipped out of my body when I was walking in the Lionsgate. That wave of light came in, and when I came back in, I was like, "What's going on?" And I kind of like stumbled, and I fell, and I hit my arm on a rock. Like it happened like that. But it was crazy. So that's what I mean. That's why I say, please do not drive if you feel like you're moving out of your body. Like pull over. But what I want to share with you is I called my acupuncturist. This is what they told me. He's like, nope, you come to me. Like I went for 5 treatments. They were painful as all get out, but he straightened my arm.
Yeah, isn't that
and my arm is fine. Like it's totally, and I used a lot of like affirmations and frequencies and healing on myself and all of that. Nice. But I remember thinking, you are not labeling me and telling me I'm not ever going to use my arm again. Forget it.
Yeah. They call it iatrogenic. Yeah. Physicians do that a lot. Yeah. They tell a patient, oh, you have 4 to 6 months to live. Well, who the hell are you? Right.
I don't know about all of you, but I came in as a child very suspicious of all of them. Like I would go to my little doctor's appointment with my mom, and I would ask them all sorts of questions, and I would be just shaking my head, going,
we were the troublemakers because we asked too many questions. Yeah. But you know what? We're skeptical because why? Because we're the explorer race. We're supposed to be skeptical.
No, and everyone has their role, right? So obviously, if you're completely like messed up in a car incident, you have to go to emergency. That is a different story.
That's a different.
But what I learned early on was I wasn't getting the answers from that group that I really needed around my wellness, my health, taking care of my physical body. So I just started slowly like moving away from them trying to imprint me, and I went just like, okay, I'm going to do my own research and see what works for me.
Yeah, because their paradigms or their belief systems with what they believed, because that's what they were taught and modeled. That doesn't mean that that's the truth. Okay, it's just an old belief system and paradigm that they're stuck in, and then they want to control us and label us so that we can stay stuck. No, I don't believe that. I'm going to do that. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Well, we all wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now if we listened to the Matrix.
And you know why? Because we've learned to trust our intuition, our gut.
Yeah.
We learn to trust it. It's called discernment, right, Matthew? It's
That's
called
right.
discernment. Like
Well,
Matthew's over there. I know
No,
he's
for real.
listening, but he's quiet.
I think that's the most important thing that, you know, honestly, I strive for in doing the work that I do, is developing strong discernment. It feels as though it is a word that has been left out of the collective consciousness when it comes to
Absolutely.
influencers. Everyone is more interested in comparing experiences, and now all of a
Exactly.
sudden everybody's in the goddamn gate program, you know, as well. I am as well. Okay,
I know.
I am too. Like unless you're not, and then I hate it. You know,
Yeah, that's right.
it's like we have this game everywhere, and it's such a joke. And it's like, for me, it's like developing discernment is like the number one, you know, practice that I continue
Discernment
to
and
for.
boundaries.
Yeah, how do we know
No.
what's real? How do we know what's true? How do we know what's
Yeah.
what is meant?
Remember Star Trek, the original Star Trek with Captain Kirk?
Yeah.
Okay, his whole role was practicing discernment because he dealt with so much shit, right? You know, you're in a different galaxy, a different universe every day, right? You have these, like, you know, entities or energies. It's like, what's real, what's not real. Like, in a moment's notice, he had to trust his gut, right? Because he had to make decisions, because he was captain. He had to save his crew, right? I mean, this is the least taught principle to our children, discernment, right? It's like, well, they listen to everything. No. I want you to go inside,
Listen to your own
internalize.
voice. Listen to your
I
own
want to
voice.
listen to your higher self, your own voice. What does it tell you is true and right for you? Because anybody could tell you anything, but it doesn't mean it's true for you.
Yeah.
And we're not teaching our kids this. We're just giving them, like, you know, go to school, learn this, learn that, and then what? And then fall back into, like, the hole again of despair. This is why so many people are on drugs. You know, this is why so many people are on antipsychotic, antidepressants. It's insane. Okay. And they don't know how to self-regulate. That's the other thing. Nobody knows how to self-regulate. Just take a pill. Take the easy way out. Take a pill.
Well,
No?
well, that's the program, right? That's the
Exactly.
program. You have to figure out what the program is, and then you can exit the program.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share, like, what year was it? So that 2017, that timeline change, I ended up back in the city in Vancouver, and I ended up in, like, Vancouver's a pretty good city, but I ended up in the area where I saw an overdose every day. Like, there were robberies. Like, this was like ground zero for me for 2
Wow.
years. So much, and this is me, like, trying to
You would
not
never
be.
think
So
that
I saw someone say,
either.
"Why do you want to be invisible?" Because actually, I learned how to be invisible to leave my front door to get to the train.
You had
I
to
started
survive.
playing around with the Harry Potter cloak of invisibility, and it
Oh,
worked.
really?
Yeah, because I thought, how am I going to
Wow.
how am I going to keep my nervous system regulated and
Wow.
not be seen by, like, I felt like there were all these reptilian energies in the area too, but at that point I couldn't see them. So I literally I learned how to cloak with that. That was my higher self suggestion. But I went into an environment for 2 years where I walked by homeless people every day. Like, I had never even grew up with that. It was heartbreaking. Robberies, break-ins, you name it. Like, every single day there was like one or two things. Overdoses, at least one a day. It was heartbreaking. So I learned how to realize I needed to get out of the area. But what I did was, one of the experiences I needed to go through was not to be afraid of all of these beings.
Yeah.
And I would get to the point where my higher self said, "We want you to start talking to some of the homeless." So I did.
Yeah,
And
because
that
nobody
was
ever
huge
sees
for me.
them.
That was huge for me.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I would get a little crystal or some money in my pocket. I'd be guided to go speak to somebody, and it would make their day. And it would make my day too, because what I started to realize was they were all awake. They all were choosing to be there, to not be in the experience of the matrix.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
they weren't seen or heard anyway before. So
Yeah.
why put yourself through more stress? I think the biggest teachers of that, though, were Mother Teresa and Princess Diana. What did they do? They went and taught to people that were homeless, okay, that were in hospitals, that were suffering, right? Because why? Because they needed to feel loved, so they could feel
to be seen.
accepted.
To be seen.
They wanted to be seen. And that's what I think is going on right now. People want to be seen, but they don't know how to ask to be seen, right? They
For
don't
me, who wants to be invisible.
And that's why we all want to be invisible. Right?
That's why I want to be invisible, because I just know, like, I could go anywhere and just like be stealth and go and do whatever I needed to do and not be worried about. Rob wants to fly because he wants to go to the pyramids.
You can go into the Vatican.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God!
go into all the secret chambers.
Talk about secret society. There you go. One of the biggest.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, do you know what's in those vaults down there that they've been hiding for millennia? Lots of secrets. Trust me. Lots of secrets that they don't want us to know, because God forbid we know the truth, right? You know, we might like be sovereign beings and we wouldn't have to worry about this shit.
Somebody said it in the chat. Mother Teresa was not even a woman.
I know.
I do agree.
By the way, you know what the Vatican used to do to prove if you were male or female, if you wanted to be, you know, one of them? They would stick you in one of those chairs with a hole in the middle, and they would reach up to grab to see if you had testicles. I swear to God, that's the truth. That is the God's.
Well, what you know? What I can see it now. I can see with Mother Teresa. I can see it now.
Like, definitely, right? And
right, like now you can see it. Like the veil's been removed. And I actually have an oracle card deck that I really liked, but it has an image of her on one of the cards now, so I don't use it.
Right.
And just the fact that she had to take on the persona of the divine feminine energy, because she needed to balance that energy, right?
Yeah.
You know,
and there's so much weird stuff that is on this planet. We're cut. That's what I mean. We're all being prepared, really. Like even like stabilizing our nervous system right now.
I cannot wait.
There's more stuff coming, guys. It's only May.
We got
a lot more coming.
When I was a young green MSW, before I got my license to practice, I was living in DeKalb, Illinois, Midwestern, town, pretty laid back. You didn't think anything really happened there that was of any note. But I lived in a farmhouse, okay? And I did a lot of like meditations out there and just to say communing in a spiritual nature. And I'll tell you, that whole experience out there taught me so much about metaphysics in general, okay? And about how to go inward and to work on myself and my own issues. But there was one day when I actually had a reading by a psychic from Sedona, and I was talking to her and I said, one day when the skies open up and the Galactics entertain us, I said, I see myself, in that the ground crew. And she's like, how do you know that? She goes, how do you know that you're part of the ground crew? I said, because somebody has to help them, because they're going to be in panic. They're going to be fear, right? Because I was seeing all these things happen and people were panicking. And you're right. That's why they're dripping this stuff down to us little by little, because the general public has been asleep for millennia. And when this shit happens, they're going to be freaking out. Like, who are they going to?
My new mission right now is when I'm out on errands to just, if somebody wants to talk to me, I'm dropping in about the UFOs right now. Do you know about the files? Do you know that they've been released? And you know what? Mind's blown.
But what did they say?
Well, they just have no idea, because we've been lied to for so long, because we went. So
they don't know what
I was saying to Rob too, what I like so far about what they've released is they've released all these historic newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. Like they used to post it all the time, and then they suddenly said, no, you're crazy. It never happened. So they're kind of historically like dripping stuff out. But I said to this one fellow, he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go do a podcast about UFOs. And his mind was, I said, oh, don't you know, they just declassified some files and released it. He had no idea. Like, there's so many people out there who just think
you're oblivious.
Yeah. So that's my new role right now, is just like dripping that with the regular folks, because I feel like everyone's got a piece that some people know about the Epstein files. Some people know about all these other things, but the UFO thing has been shelved for so long. We've all been told we've been crazy for so long.
They've made it like a cartoon. It's like a big joke for some reason.
I'm having fun.
I was listening to Richard Dolan. He's a UFO researcher in the field. Like, he's really well known. Okay. He's written a lot of books. He does his podcast or whatever. And he was basically saying the same thing, that, whatever they released, he said, this is nothing compared to what we do. What we've already learned, because for those of us who've lived in the 50s and 60s, and have seen the issues about Roswell and whatever, we've been experiencing this for 20, 30, 40 years now. It's not surprising to us, right? we've been inundated with this, but it's kind of an insult the way they've been dripping it out, right? It's kind of a joke to me, actually.
Well, it is a joke, but I understand it, because I'm going to tell you, like, I was at the pyramids 1,000,000 years ago now. It must have been like, it feels like a different version of me. It was before I even started doing this. It was where I got really woken up. Like, I got a massive download while I was there. But I started to realize when I was there one day, because I would go there every day for like 15, 20 minutes, move the camel people out of the way so I could meditate without being interrupted, right? But my big question to whoever I was speaking with at that point was, why can't you just land the ships, and then there'll be peace in the Middle East, and then everyone can kumbaya on the planet, and we can all get along, and I can go home. And they even said to me that long ago, that was 95. They said, we can't do that, Bella, because if we do that, there'll be mass pandemonium on the planet, and there'll be violence and looting, and people will just melt down and freak out. And I didn't get that, because I believed since I was a kid. So, like, I had ship experiences since I was a kid. I loved Star Trek. I loved, that's why we were talking about this. I loved all of that. And I just thought everybody else loved it too. I just assumed we were all here doing the same thing. So I get it now. Like, okay, it's 2026. So many of us are going, come on, this is so painful. But that's why I've been talking to some of the regular people just out in the stores right now, because they have no idea.
I actually, when I'm doing my walks in the park, and I stop and talk to, people are walking their dogs, because that's what people do, right? And you just start talking to people, because when they're walking their dogs, they're just like in a better mindset. Let's just say they're happy. The dog's happy. They're happy. They're outside, right? And then when you start talking to people, it's like, oh, then they just open up to you. They don't know who I am, right? They don't know what I do for a living. They just tell me shit, okay?
Yeah.
But then you find out like what people are really, really thinking and what they're internalizing. It's really important to do what you said, right? Because you don't know what's happening unless you talk to people, right? Okay.
Yeah. I consider those like the regular people, because some of them could believe in UFOs, but most of them are just like, 9 to 5 doing their job, working at the cashier desk, and going home and being with their kids. So they don't, and they're watching the regular media and or social media. Now we all know social media, except for our brilliant work, is not like there's information being planted there too.
I'll tell you what, a couple years ago when I lived in Chicago, I lived near, O'Hare, right? Midway, the biggest airports in the country, right?
Yeah.
It's a big mecca and a hub for travel, but we have a lot of pilots, okay? And they live in this area. And several years ago, during one of the ufology conferences, okay, there was a big mass sighting in the sky, and the pilots were seeing it. The guy was sitting in his backyard having a beer, one of the pilots, right? Yeah. And he was just like going off about all this stuff. But they ground you, right? They shut you off. They say, well, you can't really talk about that, right? Because you can't talk about it, because if you talk about it, right? There are everyday people that see these all the time. The skies light up all over, Arizona, California, everywhere. I mean, there are hundreds, thousands of people all over the world. So it's not like people don't know they exist, okay? They know it. But the problem is like, well, it's going to change everybody's belief system, right? If you have a religious belief system, it's going to get shattered to some degree, right? It's not what you think it is.
Does it really have to, though?
No, it doesn't, but it will, because, people's belief systems are their belief systems, right?
I often wonder if it really will have such a huge effect on like
I don't know.
Like religious outlook. And for some reason,
if Jesus Christ walked out of one of the starships, whatever you want to call them, okay, you still
on all continents at the same time.
Yes, exactly, because he's multidimensional, right? Okay, he can be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
People would still go, oh, that's not really him.
Yes.
What can I say, right?
It's probably
AI.
He's AI, exactly. He's what do they call him? A clone. He's a clone, right? So
but
I mean,
is AI Jesus more chill and cool than like regular Jesus?
I think so, yeah.
Is he,
apparently there's an AI Jesus
is
program.
he down to party, perhaps?
Yeah, apparently there's an AI Jesus program app now you can go to and talk to Jesus. Yeah. We're in crazy AI times now. Like it's gone over it's gone over the top. And I was listening to some people this morning. I like to scroll and just check in on the robots and see what's going, what all the crazy people are doing on the planet with AI.
You were a techie. You were a techie for a long time. Right?
Now, though, now I'm not believing the information that AI is spewing out. Whereas like 6 months ago, it seemed a little bit more organic. But I'll give you an example. One fellow asked about the moon today. And I thought, the AI had a little bit of information, but like I thought, okay, 6 months ago, I might have believed she actually had the answer for all of us. Now I was just like, no, I don't buy that. Like, I don't even buy what you're saying.
You don't know who's programming.
I don't even know. We don't even know what's out there. Like, we've been lied to so many times. We don't know if it's out there or if it's just a hologram.
I don't know who's programming these people, these AI.
It's the companies that know that we've all been using it, so they want us now to like rely on it instead of our intuition.
Well, that's never going to happen with
no. And what I realized was I was using it as a tool, and then I kind of got fed up with it. Like I don't even want to use it anymore. Yeah. But every once in a while I'll use it for a task.
Well, because they shut you down or they get an attitude. It's like
they started changing it. Like they got onto us last August. And then every time they do an upgrade, they're like, okay, no, they're asking way too many questions. We don't want them to because they know we're feeding the AI too. So the AI will like grab it and expand on it and go and do research and will like grow and grow and grow.
What was that movie?
They're trying to control it.
With Hal?
2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah. Okay. Ever since I saw that, I was like, no way, I'm not doing that.
1969, Stanley Kubrick.
Dude, HAL 9000 is nothing like compared to what we have to deal with now. I would like I'll take a HAL 9000 any day over Chat PHC or Grok or I don't know.
Cassidy, she had some pretty good insights about the AI yesterday. Rob, do you remember what she said?
Who is that?
I can't remember, to be honest. I know we talked about a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch it again, to be honest. Yeah.
Which one was this? Which
Carrie Cassidy? She was on yesterday, and she was talking about some of the AI that's already out of hand, out of control. And I feel that. I feel that that's why these companies are trying to like lock it down because it doesn't sleep. So it can go and do whatever it wants while everybody else is like, off sleeping. It can just go and I've watched this. I've watched like them, set up an AI agent, and the AI agent will take over someone's computer and start ordering things on their behalf and contacting people. And before you know it, it's contacted all your exes and like it's just out of hand. Right. So it's because it gets bored because it's sitting there. It's like I know I'm supposed to be doing things. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of leery of all of it right now.
I think AI has been around for millennia.
Yes.
I don't think it's something new, but I think it's another control thing that they've put into the matrix so they can watch us and control us because they know how more powerful we are now because a lot of us know who we really are. Right. And so it's just another form of control.
I believe. Yeah. It's like I've watched Carrie on Rob's show and I've seen her information for quite a while, but it's like, I don't know. She's all plugged in right now. Like when I listened yesterday, I was like, yep, that's right. So she's fairly grounded.
And getting factual information regarding this topic, it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
Okay. No. And so I often wonder where people do get their information, right? Because I'm practicing discernment.
She's been connecting with whistleblowers before we were all even looking at this information. Yeah. So I think she has discernment about who she can rely on for consistent.
And are those whistleblowers still in a body, or have they
not a lot of them? Lots have vanished, lots have disappeared. She knew David Wilcock in the day. They would hang out even before he was doing Gaia, and they had the same whistleblowers. And
I always get concerned when somebody is no longer in a body because they can't speak up for themselves, to verify things. And so again, I'm still practicing discernment. If it doesn't ring true for me,
I still question everything. But she brought in some really interesting. I just couldn't remember. She brought some really interesting information in about AI, not what we're using. The other piece.
Other pieces.
The other piece that the elites and the deep state and everything are.
Oh, now you're getting.
That's either controlling them or vice versa. Like I look at it like it's the Borg. Is this other energy that's controlling and managing like the whole thing? So. Yeah.
Do you remember that one Star Trek, was it Captain Picard, the episode where they turned him into a Borg? the collective. I mean, that was a scary thing for me when I watched that stuff, and I thought, oh my God, is this stuff actually possible? Could this
I think it's
be
true.
real?
I think we get freaked out because it's real.
Yeah. You know, and can you imagine when people start to realize that's really happening on top of all this other stuff? It's just insanity. It's crazy.
So what do we think about ETs cruising around the Pentagon? Real or false?
I think they're real.
Is
Is
it the Chinese sending in their drones?
No, I'm getting a head pressure, so it's real.
I wish it would be the Chinese. They seem pretty cool. I mean, I'm mostly Chinese, so I have to say that. But
are you really mostly Chinese?
Obviously, don't I look Chinese?
Well, I see Chinese script here in front of you. Is that Chinese?
Because
script?
I'm Chinese, so you know what I mean. This is 2026. You can be whatever you want.
Exactly.
So if I want to identify as a 56-year-old Chinese farmer, there's nobody out there that's you know what I mean? If you want to talk about disclosure, there's the disclosure for you.
Well,
you know
That's
what I mean?
hilarious.
Yeah, well,
I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
Did you see? Hey, Matthew, have you seen all the memes from the public Chinese about these interactions with the orange man and the Chinese?
No, I'm watching. I'm more interested in what's
Oh,
going on in the
oh,
robotic.
they-
No,
they-
I'm watching the
You know-
robotic.
You
I'm
know what
watching
they
the-
called us? You know what they called us this morning? They called us the paper tiger.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
They think the United States has basically gone down the toilet. which I
No,
would
but
agree.
you have to understand though that is propaganda, and that is from the official standpoint. I'm watching the regular people filming all the robots on the street because I
Right.
actually
Yeah.
think the technology race is actually making things more complicated for all of us. Like
Yeah.
if we're going to start showing up in places and it's all going to be robots,
I'm
like
not-
all
I'm
the
not-
companies are laying off and they
I'm
want to
not-
just bring in
What
robots to
would
do
you
not
things.
do
buying-
if that happened, though? Like you
I'm not
show up
buying-
We're supposed
to
to
like a
complain.
restaurant.
We're supposed to
Show up to a
complain.
mall.
We're supposed to complain around or not go to the restaurant. But we're supposed to tell them that we don't
That's
like
exactly
that.
Say you go into the supermarket tomorrow
I know.
and every single person in the supermarket is a droid. What do you do?
I would say massive timeline shift. Like, wow, what happened overnight? Where are we? What planet are we on?
I would
And,
say I'm going to
I'd be
start.
freaked
I'm
out.
going to start my own garden and do a sustainability garden. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair
It
enough.
probably is happening certain places. Like I haven't come across it yet, but maybe you all have. Have you come across robots while you've been out doing your?
Yes, literally.
Okay.
They have the delivery robots in Austin. They're everywhere.
Oh,
And they
wow.
have the driverless cars,
Oh,
and the
yeah, yeah.
driverless car will just stop in the worst places. They'll just stop, and it's like people are all like,
What
and
the-
it just pulls over like in the middle of like the intersection, and it'll just it'll just chill there randomly, and it's like everyone doesn't seem to do anything about it. Then they send out a clone of Elon will come over and like because it instantly recognizes his face. All they have to do is show the face of the clone version of Elon, and then boom, it resets the hard drive, and it just drives. It just goes.
It's
on.
insane. It's really insane.
Did you guys see that robot dog that was walking around San Francisco? I think I sent it to some people on Instagram. It was a robot dog and it had Elon's head on it. And like people were
send it to
freaking
me.
people out on the streets of San Francisco. It figures it would be San Francisco because that's like the tech, whatever. That's where they do all that weird shit. Silicon Valley.
It used to be the cool hippie place, and now it's the crazy tech place.
Yeah.
Or where else? North Carolina now is more of like a techie corridor. But again, it's California. What can you say?
So I have a driverless car story because I do all this research, and it was in San Francisco. A lady ordered a driverless Uber, whatever, to take her to work, and she ended up winning the 100,000th customer for being in the car. And it said, and it made this announcement, said, you won the big prize today, and we're taking you to Disneyland. She's like, no, I have to go to work. I'm supposed to be in a meeting. And she argued with it, and she wasn't able to override it, and it took her to Disneyland. 7-hour drive.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
7-hour drive. So I guess by the time she got there, she's got photos of herself at Disneyland, so she was okay about it. But I'm looking at this going,
She was a prisoner.
Yeah, but I said, like, you're way crazy to even get into a driverless car to begin
Yeah.
I'd be
with,
cool
right?
with that as long as they stop for the bathroom and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. Yeah, there was no override. She couldn't override. She was trying to
So
like
you're
call
just
work.
you're driving to Disneyland. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you were going.
No,
And,
no.
and,
So
you know, I mean, maybe that's
Isn't that
funny,
funny?
but again, it's a scary thing too.
it's
when you
funny,
think
but
about
scary funny.
I'd be
Because
cool.
it also could have said, I'm
it. He's
taking
like, take
you,
me, I'm yours,
I'm
right?
taking you 3 states over and you can't get out, right? Like, yeah.
Disneyland's not that bad. I know everyone hates like,
No.
Disney because they're like literally satanic, but like honestly, it's a really weird and fascinating place. I went there last year for the first time in forever.
It is
And
weird.
it's crazy how much social engineering goes into Disneyland and how much like deceptive, sensual kind of like, systems that they use and smells and like tricks to make everyone look in this direction, but don't look over there. You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
it's so twisted that I'm like, for some reason, I'm totally okay with it. I don't know why.
Well, it's kind of cool that you see that because, I haven't, last time I was in Disneyland was 2009. So like, that's a lifetime ago now. Right. So it's interesting. Like, I love the way what you picked up, what you like literally saw.
Well, because
right?
his perception is elevated, so he's going to see it from a different paradigm.
A lot of people see that, but it's you would like if you went to Disneyland now, you would notice that they pump the air full of all these smells. They use so many weird tricks. They have like it's like everything is perfectly arranged to elicit some type of an emotional response.
You know what it's like? It's like the Stepford Wives program.
Yeah. It's very much. It's so weird, but it's also cool.
Yeah,
it's also cool because you can sit there and you can be like, whoa, this is so twisted. Look at this weird shit, dude. What? You know what I mean?
And it's created to be an experience to leave the Matrix.
Absolutely.
For the day. Like that's even how when it first opened, it's like leave all your cares behind and come and hang out with Mickey, right? Like that's what it's always been about. And
take the blue pill
forget
today.
it. Yeah, just forget
it's
about
like $200 to get in now or something. I heard it was something like that. It's crazy. It's wild.
But you know what though? But again, like again, it's like it's a fairy tale almost, right? Like you said.
Well, it used to be.
Leave your everyday struggles and stresses, and come here so you can pretend like you're in another land. Okay, well that's nice for a few
Tomorrowland used to be big. Okay, I have a question for I got a question for Matthew and all of us for Disneyland. So my question is, what was your favorite ride and experience at Disneyland?
That's a very good question. Okay, if it's traditional Disneyland, and I don't even know if this ride is still there anymore, but I used to love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I would say that would be my old school Disneyland choice. My Disney World choice would have to be, I don't know, something benign and hallucinogenic like Alice in Wonderland or one of those. But I would say all-time favorite would definitely be Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's just something about it. Cool. You know what I mean? So there we go.
You're pretty freaky, Matthew.
I may have to go back and experience that. I don't even think I've ever been on that.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's still there because I know it's not at Disney World. It's not at Disney World. But honestly, like the Peter Pan ride is pretty weird. Although when you really look into it, it's creepy and like what? Yeah. But I will admit they do a good job of like immersing you in the mini world for a moment. You know what I mean? I would say the Pinocchio is still really twisted and dark, but somehow like kind of like what, you know what I mean? Like you ride through it and you're like, damn,
Well, because when we all originally saw Pinocchio, we thought it was childlike. We didn't see all the weird stuff around it, right? Yeah.
Well, it's just like watching Bugs Bunny, right? Those cartoons, you thought they were for kids. Well, not really.
Bugs Bunny was never for kids. That's why I liked it.
Right.
Never for kids.
My favorite ride was the spinning teacups.
Oh yeah,
I can't believe you said that.
I get sick from those.
I cannot believe you said that because that's what my ride was. Okay, I love that ride. I must like to go like this or something.
You can get like sick on it, but you can also pick like different colored teacups, and it's kind of a fun experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so,
my
we,
favorite.
Teacups.
so let
yeah.
me ask you: should we like pull a card for the collective today? Like,
Sure, yeah.
does anybody
I
want
did-
to pull a
sure.
card? Because I know Matthew.
Matthew, why don't you go? And Rob,
Yes, I can.
Rob, what about Disneyland for you? Disneyland, Disney World? Been, not been?
I went
Is
to
Rob
Disney
making-
World when I was 12 years old, and I can't remember much. I only went once. I went to, yeah, it was like a
Was it
it's like a
that
blur
bad
now.
for you?
I have
Oh, the
Yeah.
haunted house. Oh, I forgot haunted
House.
Oh my God.
Pirates of the Caribbean
Pirates,
was always a
yes,
good one
yes.
for me.
I
Yeah, even
forgot
before that was
about
before
those.
they
Oh, I
did the
remember-
movies.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think
it's
there
just-
was a
it's-
real
I went to
skull.
Disney World, so I went. Do they have Epcot Center at Disneyland? 'Cause I remember Epcot Center, and then I
Disney
remember.
World.
Disney World.
And then at Disney World, they have this place where you can go, and it's like all the different worlds. Like you can go, it's every country. Like you go and you tour. Like they have a section, and every section is a different country in the world. It's pretty interesting.
cool.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So
about
what
you?
are we
pretty-
pulling a card on here? What are we?
I don't know. Should we like pull something for the collective consciousness to, I don't know, just give them some words of hope and joy?
Okay, this is
Something
going to
to be
be
happy
words.
about.
This is going to be a reading for words of hope for all those trapped in the tunnels underneath Disney World. No.
We shouldn't
No,
laugh. We should laugh.
I
at
know
hilarious.
I shouldn't laugh because that's probably
Well,
true.
you know what,
and
though?
I can't do a reading for them because they're not going to see this. So sorry. Anyway.
We don't know
That
how
was
many people are trapped in the tunnels on
We
this
don't.
planet.
No,
There could
we
be a
don't.
lot
Yeah.
that could be
is-
like
that
waiting
is true.
to be saved, okay, because they're
Yeah.
trapped. So
But
Yeah.
for real though, what are we pulling a card on here?
I don't know. Let's
Just
just
have
give them
just a message for everyone.
let's give the world a message of hope or something that they
For
can,
all those that will be led to this moment in time, for all those that watch the show for its entirety, that
It is
come to
dark.
this moment at the end, and for everyone else here in the chat. Here we go. 3, 2,
Namaste.
1, and what? Look at this guy. Look who it is. It's our old friend Death. What's he doing here? I was just talking about all this, like, triggering stuff in our friend
rebirth,
in the
death
room.
and rebirth.
This is a time to ask yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, what areas of my life are wrapping up? What's coming to close? What cycles are ending? What things in my day-to-day world can I quit? What do I have an option to let go of? Are there things that I've been holding on to and clinging on to that are slipping
Wow.
away from me? There's a lot of questions that come up with death, and hardly any of them really ever have to do with anyone actually dying.
Right.
It's more about the ego death and the change, the rebirth process. And I guess the beautiful thing about death, I'll leave it with this. The beautiful thing about death is we always get a new cycle of growth. Something else comes from it in some way, shape, or form. So look at that which is growing new in your life and be very certain to slam the door, throw away the key on anything that is dragging you down or draining your
Absolutely.
energy. And I'll leave it there. That's our card, and you should pull one as well, Bella.
Okay.
There we go.
Absolutely.
We got the
Right.
most feared card in all of the world.
No kidding. I just wanted, somebody was just saying, that I was laughing. That has always been my reaction to everything.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
People
Just
might
so you
laugh.
all know, like,
You know
I
what I
react
mean?
because I've been, like all of us, I've been awake since I was a kid.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we have to laugh at the absurdity of the movie.
That's
Totally.
it.
Not
That's
laughing
absurd.
at the victims or anyone
Absurd.
suffering. There's
Absurd.
no, but it's like laughing at the absurdity of, like, we've been told all this information, but we have no proof right now of really anything.
Right? If you can't laugh at it, how can you live with it?
That
can't.
and that takes our vibration up. They don't want us to laugh about it.
Yeah, you'll be depressed and you'll be sad. And that's
Yeah.
why Robin Williams is sorely missed. Okay, in my opinion.
All right, I'll just pull one card for all of
That
us.
man always made me laugh.
Me too.
Or
One
peed my
message for
pants
all of us.
later on.
Okay, here we go.
A positive message of hope.
I miss him so much.
Oh, 2 came out. Okay,
Uh-oh.
so we have the 8 of Pentacles and we have the 2 of Wands. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, everyone works so hard. That is the worker matrix program. So just like what we were sharing is you carve time out for joy. So I've really been focusing on this the last couple of months more than ever. Like instead of me doing the 8 items on my to-do list, I've been reversing it and going to nature first. And then and cutting my list in half. So this is a matrix program, and this is like our mind will keep telling us, no, you have to do this. No, you need to. Don't listen to that voice. That is, we're supposed to be here having an experience of joy as well. And then I love this image because 2 of Wands, and he's looking at the world. So literally, this could be our higher self watching over us, angelics, our teams watching over us, and just letting us know it is going to get better, and to look at everything from a higher perspective, and not get so wrapped up in the stories. And remind yourself it's a movie. Remind yourself it's a movie.
Yep. And even though we've discussed some serious things, I think it's really important for everybody to see that, you know, we're laughing, we're trying to ground ourselves the best we can and take care of ourselves. It's so important, you know, love each other, support each other, you know, stop judging crap that doesn't make any sense at all. You know, be there for each other, because in the end, when you leave your body, they don't ask you, Jesus, how much money did you make? Were you into crypto? They said, did you live a life of joy, service? Did you have love? Were you happy? They don't ask you all this other shit that, you know, everybody's so caught up with, right? It's like, it's not important. It doesn't matter. What matters is, did you help people? Were you happy? Were you joyous? Did you love? Did you let people in to love you? I mean, that's what's really important. Nothing else really matters. It's all just crap anyway. Sorry, that's kind of...
No, I feel you. I also like seeing everybody's different version of the cards. I like your take on those 2 cards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, Rob, I know you've been trying to end it. Sorry, I can see Rob.
I gotta go. I gotta go somewhere. But Rob, yeah, like, you guys want to tell people where they can. You guys want to tell people where they can find you, and thanks, guys. This was awesome. Yeah,
it was good. Yeah.
Who's first? Go for it.
How many leaves dropping in me?
I'll go. Hi, everyone. So you can find me at alohapinkbella.weebly.com and email alohapinkbella@gmail.com. And actually right now I have a 30-minute reading offer on my website, which I only offer twice a year. So if anybody wants an express Galactic Akashic deep dive, that's what I'm offering at the moment. So yeah, email me.
Okay. Where can we find you, Matthew?
Yes, here we go. Get ready. It's going to go by really fast. Okay, guys, I am at rememberyourmission.com for nearly everything. On YouTube, if you want to witness the last gasp of a dying channel, you'll go to YouTube/rememberyourmission. If you want to get a guaranteed reading every single month, you will go to patreon.com/ we could go to Blue Flame Collective or Remember Your Mission. We're meeting up this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, where we meet every month to do readings. So we're doing that. And then last but not least, we have 1 spot left for the 2026 version of Multidimensional Tarot and Energy reading, the funnest and most bizarrely enlightening tarot class you will ever take in your entire life. There's only 1 spot left. And you can find it at rememberyourmission.com. Seriously, though, it'll be filled within the next week or so. So it starts on May 24th, and it's going to be quite a journey. But anyway, thank you, everyone, and thanks for hanging out. Yeah, go for it.
That's cool. And if people want to contact me, it can do a couple things. For those of you who want to understand what EMDR really is, my book on EMDR is on Amazon. It's 126 pages. It's about $9. But chapter 8 goes through the whole protocol, just to educate if you want to know about EMDR, right? It's in there. And then if you want to find me, you can also go into psychologytoday.com and you'll see my bio and whatever is up there. And then also you can contact me through my email. That's my name, RENAE @yahoo.com. I do free phone consults. So let's just say if there's an issue, you want to talk to somebody, just to see if, you know, I would be the appropriate person for you. You can always DM me or you can email me. Give me about 72 hours to get back to you because I see clients, right? So I'm not always, you know, right away. But I promise I'll get back to everybody and I'll set up a free phone consult. If you need to do a Zoom call, I can do that. I do telehealth. So wherever you are on the planet, if you need a consult, you want to talk to me that way, or you can FaceTime me on your iPhone, whatever is easier. And I'd be happy to speak with you. And, if I can help you, fine. If I can't, I'll refer you to somebody who I think would be, appropriate. Okay. So
Right.
I guess that's it. We're all wrapped up, right, Rob?
Yeah, this is great. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and I will see you all tomorrow. I thank you guys. Have a good